Hi guys, and welcome to another makes video. Oh, love doing these. So, technically, to myself, this is a remake because the thing I'm going to be doing, I've actually made in the past, but to a much lesser quality and didn't know certain things and thought about certain things when I first did it. So, what I am going to be remaking, this is one of the old parts, is Jaune Arc's Armour from RWBY Volume 1 to 3. I've worn this armour quite a few times and it's now what I'm calling in retirement because it's gone past its best and I don't really want to use it anymore. But one of the reasons I'm redoing it is because, I don't know if you can see there, yeah, there's like pink bits because that is the material, and if I show you the back you can really see it. That is the material underneath, and the paint doesn't stay to it that well on the edges or the bits where things rub against it. Now what I noticed was most of these parts, if I bring this up again, that are missing the paint are the silver parts, the edge parts, which makes sense. Well, it turns out you can just buy silver foam, so no matter what happens to this, it's always going to be silver. And it's not a perfect match to what I did have, but to be honest, the paint I was using probably wasn't a perfect match to Jaune's anyway. And there's some things that I've noticed when I have been doing it and be like, oh, I could have done that better if I was to ever done it again, which I am doing now. But yeah, what I've got to help me is an arsenal, you could say, of past me's things, because past me was going to do a make video on this and on the original. It never did because I can't remember why, to be honest. Yes, but past me was very clever. Past me was thinking about future me, which is present me, but whatever. And he kept the templates. He kept all the templates. Well, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one, because he never made a template for that one, which I've now done, so I can work it out on the new foam, and this one, which is for the side pieces, which that was another thing I never liked, was I never got them right, the side pieces of the armour, and it always bugged me, because I was like, I've got that wrong, but it was one of the things I was like, it's one of the things you barely see on the costume because it's under your arm most of the time. So I was just like, I can't be bothered, I'm just going to leave it. But now I'm redoing it, I'm like, right, I'm going to get that part, oh, pardon me, I'm going to get that part right this time. And there's a few other things that I've been thinking about. So I've been out, got myself some, like, I don't know what you call them. They're like the things you get on bags. I got myself 6 of those, which I don't know if I'll use all 6 in the build, but I know that I used them in the past for helping with stuff. And I also got myself, 2 meters of black elastic and 2 meters of Velcro. And yes, on paint, I've got myself a tester pot of the Colour by Crown Dry and Clear, which is sort of like a creamy white. I had been in the past using Barley White, which is a tester pot from Dulux, but Dulux don't seem to be doing this anymore. So this is what I'm going to be doing. I don't know how long it's going to take me. Hopefully it's not going to take me too long. Hopefully I can get it done before a certain con that's coming up in the future. So that's what I'm going to attempt to be doing, and hopefully if you carry on watching you should see this come to life. So I'll see you when I've got another update. Oh, by the way guys, if you are interested in making this to help you go along, I'm going to be putting all my templates in a PDF file in a link in the description of this video. So if you're interested and want to carry on doing this yourself following what I do, I've made it as easy as I can for you. I mean, I made these years ago, and it took me a lot of calculations, and I remember thinking to myself, I wish somebody had been able to just like give me the templates to make it so much easier. So that is my gift from me to you. But anyway, I'll carry on with what I'm doing. Once drawn round template 1, just flip it over, join the two edges up and draw the other half. Only having half a template allows any imperfections on this side to be mirrored on that side, making it a lot less unobvious that you have made a mistake. And to be honest, who knows if you've made a mistake, because sometimes even you don't. Once you've done that, you should end up with something that looks like this. Now, using the empty space, I've managed to fit 2 B's and 2 C's. There is a bit more gap here, don't think that will be able to be used for a template. But it just helps if you fill up your space from your biggest to your smallest before you start cutting out, so you can have a rough idea of how many sheets you need. Okay, as you should be able to see, I've managed to get them on 3 mats. I had to have that last piece on there. Now, if you've got all the pieces, there should be 14 pieces altogether. So, if you count them, you've got 14, you've got all the pieces. I mean, if you don't want certain bits like the hand pieces, you'll only have 12, and so on. But yeah, that's what you should end up with when you've drawn them all out. Okay, so if you've got that done, you should have all 14 pieces now cut out. So there's a front piece, there is a back piece. You should have mirror image pieces of these, 2 each. 2 arm pieces, 2 bottom shoulder pieces, 2 side pieces, and 2 top shoulder pieces. So that's all 14 pieces and what you should have. Okay, so the other day I had a thought, I thought I'd try it, and I tried it last night. And if you look at this, this is a piece of foam that goes over and folds over that I thought would make a nice edge. But as you can see, it, on a even not particularly stunt curve, it doesn't really want to conform to that shape. But then I tried this. It does require cutting out 2 bits of foam really thinly, but it's not too hard. Now, as you can see from the side here, there is a back piece to cover the rough edge and a top piece which also just is slightly wider than this gap, covering that gap as well, giving the top finish a nice sort of flush look. As you can see, I know it doesn't look super good from the side, but it looks better than if I was to just leave this rough on and stuck it on. You can do that, but I personally think that looks better. In the old Armour I did, that is what I did. I did this thicker, wider than I actually needed it, I think, but I just liked, I thought that was what it looked more like, but closer inspection reveals it's not that thick. But yeah, that's all I did. But because I was using paint, I just painted over to fill in the gaps more where it needed it. But I was pretty smooth, and if you are going to go for that technique, instead of doing it how I'm doing it, I would suggest using sandpaper. It does take a bit of doing, but you can get a fairly decent sand with it, but it does take a long time to doing it that way. That was one of the reasons last time it took me nearly a week to do, because I was doing a lot of sanding. Okay, so a little bit of update of what's going on. Because I've decided on how I'm doing edge pieces, like one part here, I've trimmed down all of these, getting rid of some of the roundy edges, because when I go round with this stuff, it will make more of a rounded edge anyway. So I've just cut it down, so it also, when I add the edge on, it makes it the right size once again. I also just want to talk about this piece.
which is the end piece, which when you look on the little bit I did earlier is this piece here that goes round the thing, covering up the side but underneath the top piece. But yeah, to achieve getting a piece like this where it's got a fairly bumpy bottom edge, but the two sides are pretty smooth and the back is what is this bottom, I just wanted to show you the best technique I found for doing it. So I take this, which is an edge piece, because I managed to get one of these pieces, if I show you here, out of that, and all I do is I've got it at roughly 1 centimetre deep, cut 1 centimetre all the way down there. Then when I've got that, I end up with something like this. Then using my board and the mat to keep my knife clean as I cut down the edge, I cut it in two, taking off this bottom section with the bump, leaving this slightly bumpy edge which will be stuck under, which leaves me with this piece. So there is quite a bit of waste really, but it leaves you with a very nice usable piece which is very easily bendable and can keep flat quite easily when glued down. So I'm going to make quite a lot of these, and then I will come back to you when I've done that.